Hare Krishna dear devotees, today we're continuing reading the fourth verse of the first chapter of 10th Canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and overall we're reading the 10th Canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we'll reading it in the following manner. We read first chapter from Krishna books, and we read the chapter from Srimad Bhagavatam with Srila Prabhupada's purport, the commentaries Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and we read whenever appropriate the chapter from either Ananda Vrindavan Champu or Gopal Champu or both of them. So this is the main body of our Sacred Space podcast, at least as of now. We will be switching shortly to Chaitanya Charitamrita and get absorbed in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya before Lord Chaitanya's appearance day. So if you like this kind of content, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'll tell about it at the end as well. So I hope those who are watching can take a second and do it. It will help us to grow this channel. Maybe somebody will find it useful, and also share this video with somebody whom you think could benefit from it. Anyway, so we are continuing with the first chapter, verse number 4. We read yesterday verse, Srila Prabhupada's purport. You could see it in yesterday's video, and today we continue with the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and other acharyas. Okay, so let's start. Umagyanti Miranda Syagyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Miltamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yat Kripata Maham Vande Shri Guru Dina Taranam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Budleshe Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswata Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashitya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarupyesha Kripa Sinhum Bhyevacha Paritanam Pavanipyo Vaishnavipyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Rutamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Before we read the Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, let's refresh our memory with the verse again. It's a very important verse. Srila Prabhupada quotes it very much and very often. Nivrita tarsai rupagiya manat bhavav shadat shrota mano biramat kautama shloka gunanuvadat puman virajyeta vinapashugnat. Glorification of Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the parampara system, that is, it is conveyed from a spiritual master to a disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in false, temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? So, now we read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. I'm taking the remnants of whatever Srila Sridhar Swami and Sanatana Goswami have left. King Parikshit says to Shukadeva, I am Jiva, bound up by the disease of material life. How can I cease drinking the great medicine of pastimes of Krishna recited by you, the greatest of doctors, endowed with the greatest fortune? With that intention he speaks this verse. Who could stop drinking the sweet topics of Krishna, which are like a medicine to cure the disease of material existence? Bhavav Shadhat. Trishna refers to thirst or attachment to material enjoyment. Nivrita Tarsai refers to those who, taking the medicine of Krishna's pastimes, have extinguished the trishna or thirst for material life, liberated from bondage of Maya. They therefore glorify this process more than jnana and other processes. We glorify loudly this medicine, as it has cured us of our disease. Unlike other medicines, this medicine does not have bitter taste. Therefore, he says, Shrotra manobhiramat, it gives pleasure to the ear and mind. Therefore, drink it with both ear and mind. Who will avoid these topics except the persons involved in killing animals in sacrifice with a longing to attain sarvaloka enjoyment, pashugna? Only these people will not listen. In verse 3.3.18 it is stated, those involved in seeking dharma, artha and kama have no taste for the name, qualities and pastimes of Lord Madhusudana, resplendent with the attractive pastimes. So in this context we see, and Srila Prabhupada also referred to it, that Pashugnad, or the killers of the animals, or the butchers, specifically refers to those who does this not for the sake of eating, but more so for the sake of creating, karma kanda sacrifice to attain some material gains. And because Srila Prabhupada also gives this famous verse, Bhoga Ishvarya Prasaknam Taya Pahritas Chetasam, from Bhagavad Gita, that those who are lured by material things, for them the resolute determination to serve Krishna does not take place. Another meaning, who would give up drinking the topics of Krishna which are recited by Guru and then glorifying, for even those who are liberated loudly glorify. Upa in Upagiya Manat indicates intense or continuous glorification. What more can be said about tasting it? You are the taster. Nivrita Tarsai indicates pure devotees, not jnanis, because of the use of the present tense and the prefix upa in Upagiya Manat. The jnanis meditate, but they do not chant the Lord's glories intensely. Those who have opportunity to hear the pastimes of the Lord do not stop listening, because it cures them of the material condition, bhavaushadhat. Neither the speaker nor the listener tires of hearing about the Lord, because it is enjoyable. Shroda manobhiramat. Only those desiring wealth and material enjoyment would stop hearing. Thus he said that only a killer of animals would cease hearing about the Lord, and no one else. Jiva Goswami, one should not doubt my eagerness for such an elaborate description that is expressed in this verse. Upagiya Manat, the Lord's qualities are glorified by the liberated souls profusely, or the highest in nature, Upa, for by constantly singing the Lord's glories one attains the highest bliss as a supreme result. So if we constantly sing the Lord's glories, as a supreme result, we get the highest bliss. So we should sing and sing and sing. So, and that's what Maharaj Parikshit says. Who will, in his right mind, will cease doing that, right? The liberated souls are both the jnanis and Shuddha Bhaktas. They are the Jiva Mukta living on earth, and also a person living in spiritual realm, with Salokya, Sarshti, Sarupya and Samipya. Bhavaushadhat, these talks are the medicine for the material world, destroying suffering for those desiring liberation. Shroda Mano Bhiramat, these talks give complete bliss to the ear by sound and to the mind by meaning. However, there is another type of person besides the desire of liberation and material enjoyment. The person desiring bhakti. He is superior to the last two types mentioned. The first type, the liberated person, is naturally attracted to the fourth type of The first type, the liberated person, is naturally attracted, and the fourth type of person who desires bhakti is also qualified for hearing. Thus, hearing the topics of the Lord is for sadhakas and the siddhas, who would not be satisfied with repeated topics of famous Uttama Shloka, Lord, qualities such as his eternal, famous Lord's qualities, such as his eternal and unlimited affection and generosity. The bliss of Lord's pastimes, appearing in the minds of the first time the liberated, with greater bliss than Brahman, out of intensity transforms into song. This shows the predominance of singing the Lord's glories in the perfected souls. These persons are pointed out first because of their perfected position. Those desiring liberation of material enjoyment are not considered perfected, since the pastimes do not make their appearance spontaneously in their minds. They become absorbed in the pastimes because the topics give relief from misery or give pleasure through hearing. They have predominance of hearing. These persons are less qualified than the first type. For those desiring liberation, the topics appear in the mind as sadhana for attaining their goal of liberation, and give pleasure to the ear and mind because of the topic's nature. But for those desiring material enjoyment, the topics appear in the mind simply for pleasure of the ear and mind. The fourth type, those desiring bhakti, are inferior to the first type, but superior to the second and third type. Well, this is very interesting. Those who desire bhakti, they are inferior to those who desire liberation. Okay, there must be some mistake by by the translator. So I'm not sure that this is the right. But let's see why would Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur say so. There are three types of lists in the scriptures. In a list, the order may be from lesser to greater, greater to lesser, or randomly ordered. The first two types are employed to show the greatness or insignificance of an item compared to others. The random list is stated out of inattention or great prema. So it could be either out of inattention or great prema, like you don't know what you're doing. In the present verse, the first three persons listed are in order of greater to lesser. The fourth type, the person desiring bhakti, is randomly placed. Out of humility, such a devotee thinks that he is not detached in his attraction using his ear or mind, lacking liberation or desire for liberation. So he is seemingly less qualified. Out of humility, devotee or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or whatever, in his ecstasy, he puts the devotee desiring liberation as the last, so kind of the least qualified, right? But whereas the devotee is the most qualified, obviously. The word puman, any man, is used in the verse. This means that others, such as dependents, women, eunuchs, or persons with disabilities, would not be able to engage so freely in a spiritual practice. Or men are mentioned because they are predominant, or puman can refer to jiva, thus the topics of the Lord are for everyone. So it could refer to men, and then others have more difficulty to hear than the man does, or if it refers to jiva, and we see, okay, this is controversial topic anyway, but even Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur goes to say that traditionally men, somebody jiva born in a male body, especially in first three varnas, would be considered more qualified than shudras, outcasts, women, eunuchs, I think, right? Okay, we know who they are. It was not clear about how to pronounce it. Or in other instance, puman can refer to jiva. Then this is actually good for everyone, right? Vina pashugnat, only the animal killer, is not attracted to the Lord's topics because of no interest in goals of this life or the next, since he is completely involved in giving suffering to others. It is said, Raja Putra Chiram Jiva Majiva Muni Putraka. Jiva va mara va sado, Vyadha ma jiva ma mara. Srila Prabhupada also very often quotes this verse. The prince should live long, the son of the sage should not live. The devotee may live or not live, and the hunter should not live or die. Just little purport, right? The prince should live long because he's enjoying this life. Everything's going fine, but most probably he committed some sinful activities along the way, so he will be suffering in the next life. The son of the sage, or brahmachari often translated, should not live, should die immediately, because he's pure now and he's in the best situation, and maybe he will fall in Maya later, so better die now. Okay, no brahmachari should die, but it's just kind of philosophical outview on the position of different persons which are listed here. The devotee may live or not live. So devotee in perfect situation now, devotee means somebody who is not practicing anymore, right? Somebody who is in a stage of perfection. The son of the sage would say this would be a struggling sadhaka, but devotee is somebody who is already overcome all obstacles and fully ecstatic in devotional life. So he live or he dies, doesn't matter. He's living on transcendental plane anyway, in either case. And the hunter should not live nor die. He suffer and create suffering for others while he's living, and when he dies he would suffer immensely due to his sins which he committed. Okay, the persons who give up the Lord's topic is a hunter, throwing lances and punches at others, not caring that he ultimately gives himself suffering in this life and the next. This same topic is discussed in the glorification of topics of the Lord in the commentary named Bhagavad Bhakti Vilasa. In topics about the Lord, if topics about the Lord give such result, how more will the topic concerning Krishna's form and qualities will give results? So that was the end of the commentaries for the fourth verse of the first chapter, and we'll stop for today and continue tomorrow. Again, if you like this type of content, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. We post the videos every day, and hope you will enjoy the content day after day, or some days at least. And thank you for being here with us today. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.